Welcome. Today we're going to discuss the technique obstructing the storm and some of the different ways in which we can relate it to other elements of the American Kenpo system. Now keep in mind that this is not designed to be a full comprehensive list, it's far from it, and it's not family groupings. Rather, it's just different ways that you can take to explore and understand the American Kenpo system a little bit better. So let's start out with options. If you notice, our techniques are designed to teach us the long versions because they offer different options. Well, the options built in for this technique are throughout the system in other techniques. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's dive in and start looking at some of the options. What are we doing in obstructing the storm? We are jamming our opponent. Well, let's assume we weren't fast enough or they were faster than we were, and we have to do the opposite concept. Something like continuing to go with it. Well, that would give us something like capturing the storm. So let's move on to the second part of the technique. We do our jamming. What do we do next? We control our opponent through this manipulation to get them to bend down by stepping forward with our left leg. So let's take a look at something like broken rod, where they're behind us. And what do? We get to the same position, and then we step forward with the right rather than the left. But then we introduce a new concept. We strip the weapon, and we hit them with it. So can we use that in defying or obstructing the storm? Well, absolutely. We get to here, I can now step forward with the right, and then I can strip the weapon and hit them with it. But is stepping forward the only option that we have? Well, if you watched our other video, you should already know the answer to that. If we take a look at returning storm, it teaches us how to do the opposite. So rather than stepping forward, we can step away. But this, again, gives me options. And now it's options in timing. So rather than stepping forward and then stripping the weapon, we're now going to strip the weapon as we step forward. But remember that kicks are just exaggerated steps. So rather than just stepping, we're actually going to use the step to kick as we strip and then counter using that forward momentum. But up to this point, we've been dealing with a man-made weapon. Can we do the same concepts to a non-made weapon, like crossing talon? Well, absolutely. If you notice, we're in the same position. But what's the new option? Well, we don't just do the knee and leave. Rather, we start adding all these different strikes with our hands. So again, going back to obstructing the storm, you could just as easily get them down and then start adding all those different strikes with your hand. But now let's look at this from a second person's perspective and do something like entangled wind. What are they doing to us? They're applying a figure four look. Well, so if we were applying this takedown and they started fighting us, they're really strong, well, we can go and apply that figure four lock to them. And if we look at something like twisted rod, we could even do something as simple as doing the takedown with the figure four lock from a different position. So going back to obstructing the storm, we can just as easily come up and give you that other option. So how did we relate obstructing the storm to other elements of the American Kenpo system? Was through the different options presented in the American Kenpo system techniques for different parts of the technique itself. We hope this video helps you understand the American Kenpo system a little bit better. Thank you very much.